it's a big work, and I want to say thank you for organizer, because to combine a lot of countries and people from this country, it's very difficult, because I know that first of all it's a difference in time, and if you want to present something, you must to know what time in this country, and to combine these members, it's very difficult. But thank you very much, first of all, for this.
Professor Nadiia, it's very simple for us because we keep doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to be with you. That's the only reason.
Okay, and the second problem that it was difficult to me when I come to Poland to create such group, because I want to create only for international members, because I have a good experience to be here, because I can heard a lot of different opinions from Polish people and from Ukrainian people, and from, for example, I was visited Switzerland 2 days, and I was visited Germany, and I have collected a lot of views, and I can use it for such meetings. And now I have invitation to Israel, and I will go. It's not in online. It's finally offline, and I have invitation to come, because, as you know, Israel have such position like a peaceman, to be good for Russian Federation and to be good for Ukrainian people. So the scientist from Israel wants to hear not only me, it was 10% from different districts of Ukraine, and we will speak, and maybe after that we will come with our children to there, because if our mission for future to take as small as possible children from hospital, which now in Poland, and it's very difficult to be here with these children, because a lot of such children have the same opportunities to be here, and it's very difficult to hospital in Poland. So we want to take some most, I don't know how to say, most ill, most difficult for need operation. We want to take it to Israel. That's why it's our mission to go to abroad to Israel, to show how it's need to do. And it's far as it must be very fast, because we have no time for speaking online. We can speak today with you, okay, because we have another topic, another opinion, and another idea to meet here. But if we speak about our children, believe me, a lot of children have destroyed life.
True.
A lot of children, and now to how it's recover. I don't know how it will be in the future to recover these people, because it's our future. Children, it's our future. Okay, it's another topic for another meeting. So, if I could to show my screen, I want to present something.
Dilipji, share the PPT.
Yeah, I'm just putting the live streaming now.
Yeah.
1 minute.
We have Bipin from Dubai, Gulf.
Hi, namaste.
Still not.
Yeah, Queen Elizabeth have to leave. You can state your support.
Hello, sir. Thank you so much for inviting me to come and join for this prayer. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so sorry that I have to leave because I'm traveling from Essex to London. Yes, I'm so sorry that I have to leave because I'm traveling from Essex to London for another meeting there before I go to work. I could have loved to stay, but I won't be able to stay longer. But my prayers, my heart goes to the people in Ukraine and even our younger ones that are fighting in the war. We want to pray for them that God will make this peace in this situation. And we pray that God will give them the wisdom to be able to make a proper decision so that they can stop all this war and killing many people in Ukraine. So I ask God to intervene in that situation and to make life better for people and to cease the war. So I pray to God and I want to continue praying. I will believe that every one of us are also praying in our own private. Thank you so much.
Recording in progress.
Thank you, Queen Elizabeth.
God bless.
Thank you, my
Thank you
sister.
very much.
Thank you. Thank you. So we just have to keep praying and keep supporting in any areas that we can support. And also just keep hoping. Because when there is life, there is still hope. So let's just keep hoping that things will get better. Let's keep hoping that God will intervene. Let's keep praying for one another. Let's share love. Let's share caring, kindness in everything we can do to help to support the Ukrainian. Even there's different kinds of war everywhere. But this one was really a key focus for everyone of us. And his children are dying every day. Women, children, young men, every day. People are running. I mean, people have been in that country for many years, but because of this war, there's been a lot of things that have to be in place. For example, yesterday I was listening to the news here in UK that they're talking about visa or no visa. I mean, this is life. We should think about life first before process, you know? And really, if you're going to help, help first. Show your hands of kindness first. Then we can talk about process later. And sometimes we think about fear. You know, we are afraid. We think about economy above lives. And really, that is not good enough. Let's find a way of opening our doors to help others at this time. And every one of us can do something to help them. So I want to pray for God's intervention. I want to pray for wisdom from above. God will teach us what to do at this time. Whatever happens to the Ukrainian family happens to us. We are all human beings. Whatever is happening to every one of them there is also affecting us emotionally, physically, and even psychologically. So let's keep praying because I believe God Almighty can answer all our prayers. And we can do everything to do. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Dr. too. And before you leave, I must say one important thing that now everyone's and everywhere around the world knows that Ukraine it's not Russia, because before when I have heard where are your country, where is your country situated? Now everyone's know that Ukraine is not Russia, and it's very different people. It's very different culture. It's very different people, because we do nothing to start this war. Russian people do everything and do nothing for finish. It's a big difference. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Dilipji, your opening remarks.
Namaste everyone. It is my pleasure to coordinate a prayer service with my brother Dr. T.P. Shashiumarji. I'm running an interfaith community in New York City. I'm the secretary for the religious committee and NGO committee at the UN. And we believe nobody is supposed to attack each other. I was telling some of the people yesterday, Russia is a permanent member, as a leading member at the UN. They are not supposed to go to any other country and fight like America or any other permanent members. They're supposed to lead the world. Somehow, some political dramas are going on, but whoever go for a war, they have to think about the general public. Women and children, they're sacrificing their life. They don't know where to go. So in 21st century, seeing this unnecessary war is not healthy. I hope everything will finish very fast and make sure all the refugees are being placed well. I think America is going to admit a lot of people in America, but still that's not enough. For their country, their place, their life. I just care about people in Ukraine. Last week we had a fundraising program in Brooklyn. We had an interfaith prayer service at the Church Center for United Nations. Still we are building up different movements. We have limitation. And we cannot talk against Russia or any other permanent bodies. That is also against our principles in the UN. I hope those who watch online make sure give the message for love and care about Ukraine people. That's where we try to educate people. I know in the future we want to abolish all the nuclear weapons. We are really worrying about Russia, the way they're attacking general public. We cannot take it. Now I like to invite Dr. DrTPS to guide and lead the meeting. DPS.
I think we will have a presentation by Professor Nadiia. She's a very senior professor of economics, a great university in Ukraine. I just met her a few days back. This is the day 25th March. We are exactly 1 month. 24th February, the war started.
Yes.
Exactly 1 month. I don't think in this time when people are in real suffer, a country, it's not a war, it's an attack. War is when Ukraine also puts bomb in Russia, then we can call it as a war. This is not war. This is totally injustice, attacking somebody who is not even putting one stone in the other country. If some one person from Ukraine has shot somebody going to Russia and fighting with them, then we can call it as a war.
Yes, I'm agree.
This is not a war. This is totally attacking somebody. That is why the whole world is with Ukraine. That is why the whole world is with Ukraine. I'm sure it is human. Being human is human being.
Yes, and I must to say one important thing, that we have such war with Russian Federation more than 8 years from 2014. And now it means, which was in 24th, it was large-scale invasion just in our territory, because this war was continued in a large time. It's more than 8 years. And it was an action of crime. As you know, it's our island. It was an action of territory of east of Ukraine. So it's different to explain why we are not expected, Ukrainians not expected from Russia a real bombing, because such a term, a large term, without a bombing, and people decided that it will be more and more, and it likes a frozen war. But as you see, situation is changing, and now a lot of people say that we must to prepare to the world war. Have you heard about this in your news? I think yes, because if Ukrainian people now standing shoulders by shoulders with Ukrainian guns, with help from European Union, from United States, and we have such possibilities to receive it. But if Belarus start to help Russian Federation, and we heard about this day by day in news, after that, it will be very difficult to stop this aggressor. Do you agree? So I believe in peace, but as a normal person, I'm also reading news and watch TV. So if I can show my presentation, I will show you some pictures from Ukraine. Could I?
Yeah, you can.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So I have two presentations, and one of them, it was about my experience to be here and to receive a lot of helps from people, and to understand that I'm not alone, and I have a lot of people who understand me and wants to help, not only me, wants to help all my country. And the second part, I will try to show you another presentation. As a doctor of economics and a professor, I will show you focused of economic growth to Russian Federation for Ukraine, but it was a second part. In first part, I want to show you some photos which I made by my photo, or I find in internet. I combined in one presentation. And first part, it's called Opening Hearts. This people's we stand with Ukraine. It's from Germany, and it's a lot of such people around across the road when you're crossing all of Germany. someone wants to give you water, food, to give your money. Yes, if you have a children in your hands, everyone wants to help. And in European Union, such situation in all countries now, and possibilities for children is very good because it's free for children, it's free for students. If you want to enter to university, you could do it without any payment, and it's very good opportunity to be a student or study, to receive studies, knowledges in Europe. But as I know, a lot of people stay at home. For example, as for me, I'm staying in dormitory, one of Polish university, and my children is my son is 15. He decided to be online in Ukrainian schools because now such possibilities we have, because we have normal Wi-Fi, and he's studying in online. He decided to be Ukrainian diploma, to receive a Ukrainian diploma, and as I know, 50% decided to go to receive European diploma, and another still staying online because their parents and children hope that the war is finally finished, and after that we will return to Ukraine. The second picture, it was from abroad, between Ukraine and Poland, and now I'm in Poland, in Poznan, where a lot of Ukrainians, because we have the same territory. And today, as you know, US President Joe Biden will be in Poland, and he with President Andrzej Duda will participate today with Ukrainian refugees meeting today in Warsaw, because he wants to heard voices from Ukrainians and to receive a real situation about receive information about real situation in Ukraine. So as you see in this picture, that almost of these people, it's women with children with one bag and nothing. And it was really because we have nothing, just only clothes and maybe some important things like documents, or I have a books, for example, and I have notebook with me. So the next picture, it was from Berlin. I have made such photos because a lot of such camps in around of European Union for Ukrainians, with water, with foods, and Ukrainians can use it for a period, as you know, only 3 months. After that, they must find a job, because it helps. Maybe something will change in the rules, in law, but now only 3 months they can use such camps. And mostly it's a woman with the children. They jumped, as you see in my presentation, out of the warmth beds and set off, not knowing where they would spend the night, the next day, and the next day, and where there is war won't come for them at all. Real, a lot of people which I met, it was cold, in clothes, winter clothes, because when the war started, it was winter, and if you know Ukrainian winter, it's about -10, -12, so a lot of clothes which we have take. For example, I have a coat and I have a books, so that's why a lot of people needs now spring and summer clothes, but they can receive everything here in refugees departments, as you see in this picture. The next one, it's about that if you want to drink something, if you want to eat something, you can go to such camps and receive something. I was several times, and as all Ukrainians, I must take something because I need to eat, need to drink something. And now I am alone, but in the first time I was with my 2 children, and I came from Kiev. Kiev was bombed in the first day. My mother lives in the center of Kiev, in the center of Ukraine, and there are a lot of muscles in the center of Ukraine too in that time, in that period, because now a lot of news shows that only in one of territory borders with Russia, the situation is bad, and with Belarus also very difficult, but it's not true. We have difficult situation in all territory, and maybe between Moldova and Hungary, it's now it's safety, and that's why a lot of people decided to go in that region, in that districts. But sometimes in center of our country and in another districts, we are received such muscles in not in a soldier object. It's a schools. It's simple villages where are living a lot of people. For example, my mother, it's a hospital. My father, 10 days dead because he was in reanimation in the hospital, and my mother must to stay with him in hospital because he was after operation in heart, and if the situation was very critical, such patient must to go to under building because it was dangerous to be in hospital, and of course it was very difficult to receive electricity. And in that night when my father is died, also 5 person in this night was died because electricity was absent. And I know that such victims around of their country, you can see how many schools, how many kindergartens, how many hospitals are destroyed. Okay, the next one. It's very proud to see a famous people which say hello to all Ukrainians' heart. And as you see, it's just one example from the famous people who wants to say hello and stand with Ukraine. It's Stephen King, which will no longer contracts with Russian publications house. So, as you know, a lot of companies, famous companies, just like Apple, Adidas, Audi, Amazon, British Petroleum, BMW, Burger King, Cannes Festival, Disney, Discovery, Deutsche Bank, Facebook, Formula First, FIFA, Google. So it means that it's a famous producer, famous sport, famous movie, cartoons, musician, cars, and food, Coca-Cola, for example, drinks. Everyone's want to show that Russian Federation is a real aggressor and stop all collaborations with this country. So, for example, now it's difficult to get somewhere from Russia because people can't use this passport because they have not flights to anywhere. They have not aircraft, airlines, because most of them it was in leasing. So it's very difficult to get to another country from Russia. The second, that the Ukrainian scientists are trying to work while the war is raging. The Board of Governors of European sites took place 2 days ago, and I will find in these slides, in end of the slides, it's a link where I can find how many famous and not famous, but everyone wants to show Ukrainians, scientists, Ukrainians, people, how they are standing with all minds about peace, such university like University of Oxford, Stanford, Cambridge, British Politics and Policy, Zurich, Pennsylvania, Yale, Princeton, Toronto, Tokyo, London. So it's just a little part which I find, but I know that there are a lot of universities send such positive information to that university which have experience of collaboration, for example, or have agreements. But I want to stop for some news about Ukrainian side. It's picture from today. It's satellite images from Chernihiv. Chernihiv, it's one of the oldest city in my country. I took this example because, as I told you before, Ukraine, it's not only Kiev or Mariupol or Kherson, Kharkiv, Donetsk, because it's big territory, and every day this territory received a lot of missiles and bombs. It's today picture. Chernihiv first mentioned about this city in 807, and it's city situated about 1,040 kilometers in straight line from Kiev. Now it's destroyed and closed because there was two bridges for people who wants to go buy food and for cars, of course. But for cars, Russian soldiers crashed it yesterday, and today only such a small bridge for people can use to leave this city. First, the light disappeared, then the water and gas. The civilian population is facing a real threat of famine and disease. There was nothing to cook, and the shops were closed. Real shops are closed everywhere. And one thing's very good, from first day of war, there are no alcohol on our country. All shops, when in normal territory, for example, in safety territory, but alcohol is I understand why it's dangerous, because when Russian soldiers comes to our territories, they was very surprised to see a lot of products, and alcohol was the one in the important things to come to houses, to closed shops, and to take such alcohol. Next one. It's agony of the enemy. It's also picture from Chernobyl. Most of civil citizens, it's men who wants to help and to save, first of all houses, because as I know, most people wants to come back, and they are calling to Ukraine, all refugees calling day by day to Ukrainians who stay still in Ukraine, ask to save houses, if not to save territory, to come back and to build another country, but without aggressor. As I told you, Russians are destroyed civilian infrastructure, not only tanks or techniques. It's schools, kindergartens, homes, and even a local football stadium. Real libraries, it's a very important things for war. Really, every times I heard about libraries, stadium, that it's destroyed. I don't know why. And the humanitarian crisis, of course, it's a biggest problem in Ukraine, because we have a lot of humanitarian tracks, cars, which wants to go to Ukraine territory from Poland, for example, from Hungary, from Bulgaria, but it's very difficult now. So 1 week ago, our transaction finally was open, because before we can do nothing with our cards, because it was very difficult to send money. It was only by SWIFT. But now, 1 week ago, for Ukrainian was open Pay. And now, if you want to help, you can send money for this population who still in Ukraine. Because if you send something, food, medicine, pills, sometimes it needs a more time for this, because a lot of such tracks stay under the broad, to wait a lot of kilometers. And next, news feeds that the Russian and Putin's are intimates us. This strange picture with highlights, with just like festivals, but it's not a good picture. For example, first, it's Zaporizhia nuclear power plant in fire. As you know, a big trouble in all over the world. It was Chernobyl catastrophe. And now the Chernobyl nuclear power plant remains in the hands of the occupier. In Ukraine, we have 4 such nuclear power plants, and we must protect not only Ukrainians. We must to protect all world from this. And these pictures shows how occupiers used banned in the all of the world white phosphorus munitions over the northwestern outskirts of Kiev and in the east of the Ukraine. And as you know, this banned in the whole world munitions, it's very dangerous for health, very dangerous for nature, and only in 2 countries it was used, in Syria and Afghanistan. So now we are the 3rd country where Russian Federation trying this things on Ukrainian citizens. And the next problem, this war is becoming problematic, and tomorrow it carries the risk of famine. It's from Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian. It's a food minister. It's a foreign minister from France, and I agree with him, because Ukraine provided grain for almost 500 million people of the planet, and we was hoping that it will be billion people the next year, because as you know, Ukraine realized a lot of agricultural food products in European Union, sorry, and in the Africa, it's Egypt, Middle East, it's Asia. So it will be a big risk for product security, because there is also a lack of central products of the shelves. It's flour, pasta, oil, cereals, and more. I have heard from Italian and from Germany people, or if from Ukrainians who live there now, that sometimes in shops, for example, flour, you can buy only one in by hand. So it means that we must be very careful and must stop this war, not only for Ukrainian product system. What to expect? As you see, I write from a small letter, Putin, Moscow's Russia. In Ukraine, all people decided to write such words from small letter. First of all, it's Putin and Russia. What to expect? As you see, I think that president of this country in a parallel reality and does not rule out that a Moscow list of demands may expand. I hope that from today's meeting between President of United States and President of Poland, and it will be a start for discussion about such important way to finish of Ukraine. It's close the sky, because it's one way to stop this war in very shortly. Because if we not to find such such variant and not to take it, we will receive a lot of problems in 1 year after, 2 years after, because a lot of muscles in under the ground of Ukraine. And as you know, now is spring, agriculture works. A lot of people's farmers don't want to go now in these fields because it's very dangerous. And after finish of war, such situation will be prolonged because it must be clean to agricultural works. So it's my opinion, and I think that how many languages do you know, how many times you are humor, and how many times you are say closer sky around the world. Maybe after that it will be. Thank you.
It was a real human picture. Every human being is supposed to know that what inhuman activities are happening around. Every social being must be concerned about what could be the social problems, what can happen because somebody wanted to show ego and power. This is what Professor Nadiia, my sister from Ukraine, now living in Poland, has shown all of us. There are a few questions in the chat box. You can unmute and ask if Dilipji permits them. We are not here to make some political statements or comments. We are only here to show our integrity with those people who are really suffering.
Everybody can ask questions.
Yeah, if anybody wanted to raise your hand, you could. Is there any colleague of yours, Professor Nadiia, who is there from Ukraine, who wanted to make some supplementary remarks?
Before your questions, I want to continue, and I want to show you second part of my presentation, because it's such difference. First part, it was a social, was from me as a humor. The another part, it will be from me as a professional, from Doctor of Economics. So, is it visible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
So, new economic reality. Today, with cautions and restrained optimism, I want to share with you some of my thoughts. On February 24th, Russian President Putin launched a war against Ukraine, calling in special military operation to protect Russia from NATO. But as we know, it's not a special military operation, it's a war. And such military ideology was in TV on Russian Federation, and I tried to find such muscles in internet, try to find such techniques, such card in internet, and try to combine all this and to check how many millions of dollars it was sent to our country. So a full-scale Russian invasion to Ukraine has been going on a month. And from this month, I tried to figure out why it was so important to conquer Ukraine in a short period. In Russia, according to official data, there are 1,500 missiles as of 23 of March. And see, about 1,000 have already been launched in Ukraine. About 1,000 in Ukraine in 1 month. I want to remind you that the Russian occupiers wants to come for 4, 5, 6 days. And now Putin said that it must be till of 9 of May before Victory Day. I have checked the official source and saw that such muscles cost about from 4 till 9 millions, one such muscle. For example, the Russian army spent 72 million to destroy Vinnytsia airport, which in principle had a cost about 3 million. Vinnytsia, it's a central of Ukraine. It was not big airport. It was just for plane inside of Ukraine, not international airports. The price of this small airports was about 3 million, but muscles, which price was 72 million, destroys this small airport in town. Then another system Panzer, shell Panzer. It's costs stupid money, about 33 million. It is diesel, and when the fuel runs out, the Russian troops leave the equipment because the fuel was only for 5 days. So the cost of equipment is huge. First variant to stop Russian, it was a SWIFT. And what does it mean? SWIFT, it's a commercial organization, about 22,000 financial organizations around the world. And if you want to buy something, you can use it in Switzerland, in Brazil, on Canada, doesn't matter. But after that, Visa, MasterCard, PayPal don't work in Russia. But how it's made to use, and as you know, sometimes you saw a picture from insiders' information that Russians use such card. It's possible to using not SWIFT. It's similar accounting. For example, one of them is a Chinese cross-border interbank payment system. And it's in Russia, I can find similar 8 accounts, and they can use it in Turkey, for example, in Arabic Emirates, as I know. So sometimes these accounts can be used, and that's why they try to buy something not in Russia, try to buy in Kazakhstan, in Turkmenistan, and because this Serbia also, it's a big friend of Russian Federation. Situation this talks about cryptocurrency in Russia to recognize or ban. For me, if it will be possible, it will be 2 weeks ago, because now it's impossible to make a digital ruble because they have not a ready product for implementation. In that moment, in this moment, much more difficult. Today's Russian stock market costs -0, as you know, because stock market is stopped for all Russian banks system and financial system too. It's a collapse. That's why ruble of money of the Russian Federation cost nothing too. For example, today it was more than 120 for $1. This means only one thing, that default of the financial and banking system. In 1998, there was a drop in 5% of Russia's GDP. After the sanction, I predict a drop of 15% annually. And on March, end of the month, the deadline for debt payment, it's about 1,050 million. This woman in this picture is Elvira Naabulina, the chairman of the Central Bank of Russia. She's trying to resigning for the second time, but Putin will not sign it because he needs to make her guilty of this default, of course. Someone must be guilty. About China, several words. China is trying to become a prototype of NATO, become as a #1 of the world economy. But after that, when 2 days ago, as you remember, also was very interesting telephone meeting between China's president and President of the United States. And Joe Biden asked to be a good boy and not to destroy such international collaborations between countries, because a lot of branches of China's banks in the United States, and they also speak about Marshall's Plan. But most of this plan you can heard from Boris Johnson. Great Britain was the first country to support Ukraine. Now all over the world we have this supporting, of course. And now about Marshall Plan. First of all, after Second War, Marshall Plan was presented from United States, and it was very good for German in that way, because the 1 kilo of flour, it was cost 1 mark. Now I think it will be something like similar. The second point, it's about oil price. I think in all country, where do you live in Brazil, in Portugal, or in Canada, or in Poland, or Egypt, I think you see the prices on gas station. It have risen the last months, and it's of course because the war in Ukrainian steel. So gas price is the same, moving towards about 3,000 cubic meters, and it will be continue if we will see such situation in Russian Federation with GDP, and with deadline for debt of payments. Post-war situation. I see several ways for finish for good result for Ukraine and for normal result for another countries. That is open. The sky will be closed. Sorry, and it must do as soon as possible, because we have passed the active phase, but as you know, some soldiers, some armies, some techniques now again, a new strong soldiers from Russian Federation comes again to our abroad, and we must stop it, because we are the winner, of course. Ukraine the winner, the rest of the world the winner. Why we must wait for this victory? We must do as soon as possible, because I see our country like is similar like South Korea, for example, with good technological bloc, standards of living. Because how many humanitarian help, how many money a lot of countries send it to my country, that I see that it will be in very short future, maybe 1 year, 2 year, about 5 years, they will build a new country. But if it's possible to stop now, first of all, it's not only for Russian Federation, for Belarus also, because the president of this country, non-legal president, 2 years ago when was a president election in this country, also all citizens of this country asked about help, because it was difficult to understand why, when I have another opinion that my president, I must to see it every day in my TV, in all the news, and walk and live in such country. It was Belarus. Now they are praying in all churches in Belarus, because I have a lot of friends there. They try to go anywhere from Belarus too, because they understand that it can be from this country, and aggression will be continued if this president, which is not president, legal president, Lukashenko, Alexander, try to help President Putin. So now situation that 4 million people left Ukraine, and I'm one of them. I'm trying to do something. I know a lot of people who stay not in Ukraine, who stay in Europe, for example, because I want to go to Brazil, for example, because I don't have nothing. Now I have a new opportunities, but I want come back to home. And thanks God that now my home is not destroyed, and I have places when I can use for my future life. But I can say it about the rest of my citizens. So thank you for your attention. Maybe you have some question to me. Sorry for such a long speech. Sorry.
No, it's not long, Professor Nadiia. When compared to the problems what you are going through, it's a very, very short view. For last 8 years, from 2014, maybe 100 days of real military operations, I think all of you, including students who were there from different parts of the world, all of them were told that any day there can be a war. Any day there can be a war. And I think now it has really happened, not as a war. Again, I'm saying it's only an attack on Ukraine from Russia. I don't like to call it as a war. And the suffering is, though there can be a lot of help from different people, you can reconstruct, but what is lost, the human life, what is lost, and the displacement and the suffering which people had, and the separation which people, the families had, and many people lost many things. So I'm sure all that is irreparable, and this is too bad a phenomena which should happen in these days of 2022, when people are thinking about development, people are thinking about whole supporting each other. But don't you think that the whole 8 years of worry inside was a worry? You know that one day it is going to blast. And you were all sitting on that trouble and worries, right?
One thing, it's very sad when I heard from another people, for example, in Facebook, or 3 days ago, how I met with you when someone's shows picture with friends from Russia Federation for Russian Federation meeting between Mexico and Russia, some events still providing. It's very I don't understand how it's possible. If Arnold Schwarzenegger, if Mila Kunis, if Pamela Cruz, if everyone shows us that please stop the war and don't have any events for such period, not for all the time, for this period, for finish a war. One result, it can be one result. After that, okay, I understand that sometimes this opinion that Russian people, it's not Putin. Okay, maybe. Because Russian Federation, it's a big country. But if Russian peoples do nothing in the square, in the TV, in Facebook, for example, maybe Putin and Russian people is similar in such way. So just stop for some period for very important conclusions for Russian people to see that it must be, I want to say that we wait for help from Russian people, real, but nothing. We have a lot of friends. We have a lot of, as everyone's have country which abroad with its neighborhoods. And we have the similar movies, the similar stars which come to our theaters, to our movies and sing a song in our language. Our actress sings a song on Russian language. Now, nothing. And that stars from Russian say that it's not war, it's just a war operation in some districts, still 1 month. So that's why I'm very disappointed to see such position from people who don't want to see real situation. And I hope that today meetings, tomorrow meetings will stop all the situation, and most of my people come back to Ukraine, and we will sign a lot of agreements beside our universities, and we'll visit our countries. And I don't know, I want to live in another situation, not in such. I have say thank you for all my friends from this Polish university, from all my friends from Brazil, from Switzerland, but I want to go home. but I can't. Now you understand me what I want to say. Thank you. Sorry.
If anybody has got any short, you have any of your friends from Ukraine joining here now? You want them to add few points? Anybody is there?
No,
Sir,
no.
can I tell about Russia and Ukraine crisis? I'm from South India.
No, Srijit, you cannot make presentations. You cannot share your knowledge. I want somebody from Ukraine who is there who can.
No, they have no connection now because I want to.
If you have any, others
no.
have got any few specific questions, yes. Very specific question. If you have any very specific question to Professor Nadiia, yes, welcome. Isabel from Argentina.
Hello to all.
You want to pray for? You want to pray for Ukraine people?
I only desire players for Ukraine. No, in this moment, no words in the situation. Only peace and players for Ukraine. Thank you to all for this presentation. In my heart with you, with Ukraine, and my prayers. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste. No. It's for me.
Dr. Jagadish. Dr. Jagadish is there. Anybody who want to ask very specific? Dilip ji.
I like to ask one question. See, there was a movement to stop the war invasion, right? Do you think Ukraine president didn't do the good job to not having a conflict with Russia, or he didn't care about? He wanted to stick with we will face it instead of having a dialogue and finish the issue. I know Putin had little issue not to talk with him, but some people are not happy about the Ukraine president. Certain ways, I don't know. I am reading different news. What is your opinion?
Yes, it's good question because all newspapers show that we have our side from Ukraine. Diplomats have a lot of meetings with Russian diplomats to find another diplomatic ways to stop this war. But really, no. Yes, we have been in such our politics have been in such meetings because it only for understandable situation that we want to stop it. And if it's the way, okay, we are ready. But under 4-round tables discussion, there are no ideas how to finish it. And as you see that in such meetings from Russian sides, for such meeting comes not important person. It's like if, for example, university, it's a rector, vice rectors, deans. After that, it's a head of departments. And at such meeting was present maybe head of department. It's not important people comes to such meetings in Belarusia. It's in country Belarusia, because in Ukrainian variety, it was that Russian politics can come to our capitals and to sign something, but no, of course, it's impossible to Russian Federation. So they are talking, but as you know, such humor like Putin, after 1 month war, I think, it's not my opinion, I'm listening 20 hours day by day and use from Ukrainian, because thank God I have a laptop, I have a notebook, because a lot of people from my country have only telephone. And every day I heard information that Putin is not in Russia. Putin received not real information about situation in the war, because he thinks that it's not unreal, that he still not receive all country. And he was very disappointed of his generals, because he was not ready to our Ukrainian army, because Russian army, it was the second army in the world. But now, tell me, I have a question. If Russian army is the second, what level Ukrainian army? First?
Yeah.
Because we are not a big country, and we have such a lot of deaths, losers, and sheeps, a lot of things we destroyed in Russian army. Russian army destroyed all the civil infrastructure, and it's death from civil people. It's not military. Most of them, we have more about 20,000 deaths, but it's civil. It's not army. I think the part of this all death, it's maybe, I don't know. I don't know, so that's why I don't ask it. But I know that Putin don't want to go without nothing.
TP, there's a woman called Irina Kopenisia.
I see a question about NATO. Join to NATO or not? I think not, of course not, but a very good perspective, and in a short future, I hope my country will consist European Union.
Do you think that idea provoke Russia, because NATO is led by America, and America and Russia always have a conflict?
Oh, it's also a good question. If if it's not old history between Russian and United States, the same territory, the same abroad. Yes, we have state Alaska. The same question with Japanese and Russian Federation also. If it's possible to come and take something, it's a big problem in international law. If it's easy, why such districts as Catalonia is in Spain still consist in Spain? Because Catalans, most of population of these districts, come to election and say, yes, we want to be independent from Spain, but nothing. Now, these questions very important, because if Putin receive it, it will be, I think, third war. It's my opinion. I'm not politician, but it's my opinion.
Is this superiority war, ma'am?
Someone wants to ask me?
Is this superiority war?
Superiority war? What does it mean? I don't know.
Like Hitler, ma'am, superiority war means like Hitler in past era.
Is it only to show the power? Yes, ego.
I don't understand. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for question, but I don't understand this question. Sorry.
I think Cienaro has raised your hand. Cienaro has got a question. Cienaro, yeah. Introduce
Hello,
yourself.
Nadia. Hello. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm arrived late at the meeting. Nadia, what can universities around the world can do for Ukrainians right now? Are there something or not?
Thank you for your question. First of all, a lot of supports from a lot of countries, and I was showing one slides of my first presentation that I'm checked a lot of information about university, not only from Europe. I was checked Latin America, Canada, Japan university. All university show us that that it's unreal that in this century we have such situation, because we are very clever, because we are scientists, because we are teacher, because we are students, PhD. We are the future of every country, and we are very clever. We have open minds. We have a lot of international conference. We write a lot of books. We have a big experience and collaboration between our countries, between Russian Federation, of course, but now it's all destroyed, and universities shows that they want to help us. But I saw different also opinions from such country like Serbia. For example, it's in Slovak Republic also was something strange, because I'm living in dormitory in Polish university, and 1 week ago, a lot of Russian students who lived there must to leave this university dormitory, sorry, because they want to help Ukrainian refugees, and these apartments was free after leaving Russian students. And 2 days after preparing this room, cleaning, Ukrainian refugees come to my dormitory. It was a woman with children. Really, I saw it. In Slovak Republic, I heard about not everyone, but some university gives payment for 3 months for Ukrainian students and for Russian students too, for help. I don't know why, because it's Russian-Ukrainian war. I heard such situation. From one of university, I received answer that it's not true. From another, still silent. In another university in Europe Union, very friendly universities now, because all children, all students have opportunities to become a student. And if you was 3 years students, you can use only your passport and your because you have not diploma in third year, so maybe only passport, I don't know, and you can be a student of the similar years in Finland university, for example, because I have my students, I have 42 PhD students, now 15 of my PhD students around the world. And they only must to find home, apartments, because a lot of universities just give a payment for study and possibilities to receive a diploma only, without insurance and without apartments. Such situations.
We have Irina here. She has some questions. Irina could speak.
Yes, hello.
Yeah, welcome.
I frankly speaking had no time to read more about the group, about this conversation, just really had no minute, sorry. Just ask me what would you like to know, or I can make some short introduction about me and my activity for now and for today's situation. Tell me, just your moderator.
You joined from Nadia's group, or how did you get the contact?
No, I received from my friend invitation, and that's how I joined.
Okay, where are you right now?
Right now, I'm in Dubai, as I came here on December just to spend winter. So my plan was like my business in Ukraine. I was not going to move somewhere from Ukraine, and actually, frankly speaking, still not going. So my idea was just to come here to, as I don't like very much winter and coldness. My idea was to come here just for a few months, and as soon as it would get warmer in Ukraine, to come back. And
so you're originally from Ukraine?
Yes, from Kiev, and still my plan is still the same, frankly speaking.
So, okay, so my nephew Bipin in Dubai added you there, I think, yeah.
Yes, he invited me.
Yes.
A few words about what I am doing and what's regarding Ukraine situation. So most part of my life, I've been involved in political consulting in Ukraine. It's different kind of elections and international media projects, and also used to live in London, working in Bell Pottinger, the same on political consulting. So last few years, I had just my business had some factory in Kremenchuk, and I hope I still have it, but I don't know. We'll see it after, if I still have it in this business. So I was quite apart from political consulting. But as soon as all these things happened, and as soon as I was involved in some political stuff in Ukraine, so of course I know like 1/3 part of our parliament, of our governors are quite my friends. And my friend, who is the deputy head of president administration, Igor Zhovkva, the same day as everything started, he told me like, okay, make your international media group, reanimate all your contacts, and let's make some direct messages, requests to the world, like once a day, because a lot of information in all media, but we'll put there in this your group only like our main message to the world, or our main request from president administration to the world. So that is why one thing what I'm doing here, what I'm doing now in this our situation. And of course, as soon as we are together in chats with all this stuff, also I'm involved in some international negotiations. I mean, in between Ukraine and different, for example, European or other world countries, as regarding sanctions from their countries to Ukraine, to Russia, I mean, and so on. And frankly speaking, I don't have any illusion about world countries. Sorry, I will be very cynic and direct in my position, because I don't have time for diplomatical attitude. I don't have any illusion about real help of the countries. I mean, all countries, I'm talking just about official government level. So I'm not talking about some personalities, some people inside the country, because really a lot of amazing people all over the world in all countries. I mean, even in Russia, it's quite a lot of brave, amazing people that support us, even from there, try to support. But still on the government official level, we face not very pleasant situations regarding official position of the countries. It's the same thing I can say like about Germany, about France, about Vatican, and a lot of, I mean, if you want to ask, there is nothing, I mean, there is no mysteries. I mean, I can give you examples of some real situations. Like personally me, I had a big quarrel with the main general of German army. Just because they think sometimes that we're stupid assholes, like they're trying like if they would like to help us, giving us access for some technologies or something, but then losing for like few days of some negotiating, or when I make somebody direct call with our deputy of the head of president administration, and believe me, it's quite busy person. I mean, he's much more busy than me or the general or many people in the world now. And finally, we realize that they just lose our time and they want just to have access to some intelligence. The same unique, I mean, as I've been a lot in political consulting, so I don't have any illusions for quite a while, for several years maybe. But still, there were some situations in nowadays, in our today's situation in Ukraine, that really surprised me with this cynic. So I guess like, it's not just the war in between Russia and Ukraine. I guess it's some world war when we should come back and realize some real values, the pressure of life, for example, or something like this. Okay, example with Vatican. Because actually I just didn't have time, but definitely in a few days when I will have time to make some articles, I will put it in this, I will put this in world media. I think I'm pretty sure that the world should know the real situation. Like we gave a request to Vatican, to some main cardinal on international cooperation to arrange for us and support 2 corridors. So it was 2 weeks ago. So it was going for that time only about Kherson and Kharkov, because they were the main hot points, the main hot cities, the hottest cities. In answer, they gave us like, okay, we will think about it. We will try to help you. Just we want you to join in your negotiation process in between Russia and Ukraine, the Prince of Saudi Arabia. Of course, our answer was like, no, come on, guys, sorry, but you are Vatican, so please, we're not asking money or stop the war. We're doing quite well ourselves. I mean, it's also like some kind of request for ourselves, this war, to believe in our power. I mean, really, we can do everything we need ourselves. And really, I think we're much more powerful than a lot of other countries in the world, because we are not too diplomatical and too weak. We have our strong position and we're ready to fight for this position. And as soon as we're told that, no, please first make this thing about 2 corridors, just to remove our people, our civilians, from bombing, from 24 hours a day bombing, and then we can come back to any other questions, but not before. And their answer, you guess what was their answer? I guess you've seen it from everywhere, no answer. So they just made this question on pause and told like, okay, no Prince of Saudi Arabia in your negotiating process, no corridors. I don't know how to take this, but I'm not going to take this as normal, because this is not normal. The world, I guess the whole world in its values is going somewhere very, very down. And it's something very wrong. What can be ahead in the future of the whole world if we should take this situation as normal? Who is he? Who is he, this Pope? Who is he, this cardinal? For me, they are a piece of shit from this moment. And I don't see anything wrong to say that, because they act like piece of shit. So let's name the things as it is. I don't know, maybe if I'm wrong, if there is somebody in this group who thinks that their answer was okay and this situation is okay, I don't think so. So that's what's going about. There is some other part what I'm doing now, but it is more private things. This is more regarding to our cyber attacking activity, which I actually also consider to be very right from our side.
Nadiia, Professor Nadiia has something to add to this.
Can I answer in English, in Ukrainian to Irina? Ірина, доброго дня.
Здравствуйте.
Так, я дуже, скажімо, вражена і здивована. Я тут працюю кожен день, і це так от збираю тут науковці переважно, доктори і професори. Я їм тільки що розказувала, математично показувала моделі, скільки грошей вже потрачено, і що вони, на що вони сиділи, мовчали, скажімо так. А зараз ваша історія, мабуть, їх взагалі, знаєте, контрольний, добила до кінця. Тому тут переважно люди з Бразилії, з Індії, з багатьох країн. Я вам дуже дякую, що долучилися. Якщо вам не важко через свого друга чи як, бо я такі речі роблю постійно. Післязавтра буде зустріч більше, ніж 50 осіб в Бразилії. Якщо хочете, будемо з вами працювати таким чином.
Відповісти українською чи англійською, щоб всі розуміли?
Давайте тоді вже in English.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's more correct to everybody. I mean, I'm ready to join any actions or anything that is for some purpose. Because really, like from the first day of the war, I'm sleeping really only maybe 3 hours a day and eating once, because I just really have no time. I took part in few conferences which some friend of mine from Europe asked me to take part in, and after third I told her that sorry, I really appreciate and love you, but I don't want to lose time for that things, because on one conference that was by Atlantic Council in between Britain and USA, it was discussed like, oh, so it's like, meanwhile in Ukraine, still people dying. They were discussing like, oh, we're afraid of Ukraine gained cyber potential. We need to find out how to fight with that. So they're not thinking like how to fight with Russia, that want to fight with the whole Ukraine and Europe. And the other one, it was some summit of some investment foundations, private and government, like 44 people all over the world. And they were discussing like how can they reorganize their packages, their investment packages for their clients, considering the situation in the world. So we are just situation in the world. So we are not war, we are not something people should and actually what I think people from all over the world can help us with is first of all to push big companies in their countries to leave Russian market. It's first thing that any individual can help us with. And otherwise, because sanctions on government level, okay, let's leave this for diplomatical stuff for governors, yeah? But what each of us can do is to push each huge companies from your country to leave Russian markets. Because as soon as they have business, trading, they have money to support the war. And as soon as they support the war, and I guess everyone know pretty good that their way of conducting the war, they use everything like phosphorus bombs of white phosphor, like everything that is forbidden all over the world, they use that. And as soon as like my family, half of my family is fighting, my brother, my uncle, my mother is staying just in the middle of Kiev, and she don't want to leave. Like she want to stay there, she want to help people till the last moment. I'm pretty sure that if this situation would catch me in Kiev, I wouldn't go anywhere. And even now, like I'm going to follow my plan. I was going to stay here only for winters and to come back Kiev. So in a while, I'm really going to come back Kiev. Because anyway, here I'm 24 hours a day involved in my Ukrainian situation. So for me, no difference where to sit in apartment, in Dubai or in Kiev. And in Kiev, I can be in some other things also helpful. And after the war, I'm pretty sure that we're going to win. With the help of the world or without the help, we can do ourselves. I guess most part of our population for the last weeks really believed, like they awoke and believed in themselves, in ourselves. We really can do a lot with the world or without the world. If the world can help us, thank you. Then we will believe in world values that people's lives are still precious.
Yeah, Nerina and Professor Nadiia, we will see that we will have another meeting with some people where we could voice it out to the national-wide press. We will have to make another meeting. I'll make you to sit and then explain what you wanted to tell the whole world, you know. We'll see that. I'm also a geopolitician who has got interest and who has got wide connections in the press in India. I'll do that.
Thank you very much.
I'll do that.
Thank you very much. Yes, and I hope that we will stay in touch because we have another meeting